Hey everybody, how we doing today? Today, what I want to talk about here is a little theory called oil bluing, basically. I've been doing a little bit of research just trying to figure out different ways to blue stuff and just different finish options because that's pretty much my area of expertise, or at least I try my best to school myself in the, I guess, art of refinishing metal and surface finishes and things of that nature. But basically what rust blue or heat bluing is basically you heat the metal to get the color you want, and then you infuse the surface of the metal with oil or carbon to achieve the color you want. And that color, I don't know how well you can tell, but I'm going to show you some close-ups. But that color won't change. It's going to stay that light purple, blue color, which is kind of neat. The nice thing about this process is that it's fairly easy to do. It doesn't require a whole lot of specialized tools. All you need is a propane fuel cylinder with a torch head on top, a pan of just standard motor oil, and then whatever part you want to, achieve that color on. Now I'm experimenting with these reloading dyes just because the temper in them isn't really important. I don't think that this process overall gets the metal hot enough for you to lose any kind of temper or anything, but more testing and experimentation with the process will confirm or deny that fact. I've got a reloading dye here that I did just to see how it would turn out. I've got a Mauser butt plate. I think I might have got this just a little bit too hot because we don't have a lot of those purple and blue colors we're really looking for, but this Mauser butt plate started out in the white. So it's definitely a serviceable finish. If you just needed a quick result and you didn't want to spend a lot of time or effort, it would definitely achieve that said result. Now on that end, it's not quite as durable as a standard, of course, caustic hot salts bluing finish, or even a cold blue finish for that matter. Not as durable. You do have to oil it more often, but for what it lacks in durability, if done properly, it makes up for in beauty. Later, I'm going to show you a custom Super Red Hawk revolver that Ray had made, and the gunsmith that made that revolver for him years back used a form of oil bluing to do the receiver, and that thing looks hot. It's sharp. It's got that purple look. It just looks really sweet. It can give your gun parts a nice custom look without spending a lot of money. So let's get started. Basically, this is just to get any kind of rust or any sort of surface anomalies out of the metal so we get a nice clean result. Similar to the way that you would card metal off before you go to cold blue or hot blue. Basically, we're polishing the metal. So let's do that. And just bear in mind, this process at this point is relatively informal. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything like that, so don't take it the wrong way. This is just trial and error in the works. And if it's one of the things that you learn from my YouTube channel, you should know that I always show honest and unbiased results with everything I do. If something doesn't turn out well, I still report it either way. Alright? That's just how I am. I get a lot of haters that get on there and they try to bust my chops about stuff, but the bottom line is I'm doing this for the good of the group. Any gunsmith, no matter how good they are, started out learning something from trial and error. They had to make a mistake at some point. You can't learn gunsmithing unless you make mistakes. And that's, just an important thing to remember. You're not going to get really, really awesome results every time you try something. But if you never try something, then you won't ever know, will you? I'm going to degrease this part, and we're going to move on to heat it up. And that's really the hardest part, just polishing and degreasing the metal. Make sure you have adequate ventilation. When you quench this object in oil, it's going to produce some smoke that could upset you a little bit, so just bear that in mind. I'm going to get this part heated. I'm trying to keep the heat even. I'm rotating it as I'm applying the heat. At one point here, the heat is going to begin to turn the metal kind of a plum color, and then it's going to start to turn it kind of a blue color. In the process that occurs there, we have to be careful not to apply too much heat too rapidly and over one surface, because you can actually get splotches in the resulting finish. It's going to take a little bit of time here, but once it starts to turn, it'll turn relatively quickly. The thicker parts of the metal, of course, are going to require more heat. Okay, I can see it starting to turn. You're not going to be able to tell all that well on the video, but you'll see. I'm going to show the die up close once it's all said and done. We're beginning to get some nice purple colors in there, which is exactly what we're looking for. It just looks great. There's no doubt about it. Oh yeah. Move down the body of the die. Okay, might have got just a little bit too much heat on the top because we're losing a little bit of purple, but that's alright, still looks good. That hot down at the bottom. This is not a real easy process. I mean, it takes a little time to get it just right. Alright, that's ready to dunk. Let me change the camera angle. Okay, I got probably just a little bit too much heat up towards the top of the die where the metal's the thickest. But you can see we've got a nice purple color there along the threads. And see, that's the beauty of the process. It's really not that difficult to do. If you need to recard it and try the process again, you can do that. It's not difficult. But you see the ease in which I achieved that color. Even though it's just a little bit lighter blue at the top, it's still going to be relatively durable enough, at least to keep fingerprints from rusting the die and things of that nature. Alright, here's a few very initial results of this process. I know the lighting is not that great, but you can see the color that we've got. It's just very nice, you know what I mean? It just gives the item a little bit more classic look, a little bit different of a look. That Mauser butt plate looks real nice. It's got some nice colors. I mean, that really you wouldn't be able to get out of any other type of method of refinishing than this. So that's what you can expect.